what's up, world? We are back. It's relationships, romance, and propaganda with Rachel K. Burke and Imani Shakur. I hope everyone has been well. We expose the truth and broadcast the lies about relationships and everything in between. We have a lot of fun. I'm a film director, writer, TV, all that stuff, producer. Rachel is an author, actress. These are her books. Sound Bites, a rock and roll love story. And Love Bites.
You'd think after doing this for almost 2 years, he would know the titles.
Exactly. I'm like, no, because I saw it and I said rock and roll love. So I'm like, I know it's something above that. Sound Bites. I'm tripping. Anyway, I didn't have that much sleep last night, and I worked out this morning. So forgive me, guys.
Oh no, you need sleep.
I know. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe on ISNT Group Digital. I'm still trying on YouTube, still trying to get that changed. And thank you for listening where you get your podcast. We appreciate it. We are everywhere. And yeah, guys, Happy New Year. This is our first show for 2021. And what are we talking about, Rachel?
We are talking about dick pics and nudes.
And nudes. Sexting, right?
Yeah, the whole sexting culture.
You want to know what's funny? I think I'm going to like this because maybe you can teach me a few things. I've never been a good sexter. I swear.
I know I'm not into it, but that's why I want to talk about it, because like it's a struggle, because a lot of people are so used to it now.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've always been like, what do I say? How do I say? What am I supposed to say? What's this banter supposed to be like? I swear I'm so green at this.
And some guys on dating apps want you to send them naked photos before they meet you, and I'm
wow.
like, it could
really?
You could be a catfisher, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, no, I'm not gonna. Some guy told me, and he actually was legit. We talked on the phone, but he told me that he wants a girl to send him naked photos before he meets them, because it's exciting to him when he meets a girl and he knows he's already seen her naked. I was like, no. That's
kind of strange to me.
No.
And then possibly girls have done this, which is why he think it's still possible.
Yeah, he told me about like
That's
this girl
crazy.
that he had dated for a little bit, and like their first date, that was exciting to him. And I was just like, this is not cool.
Nah, it's not cool at all. Wouldn't you say something is kind of off with a woman that does that, or no?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that?
Right. Yeah.
Like no self-esteem, or
work for it a little.
Am I tripping or yeah?
I know. And then this actually made me think of, I think we should do another episode so we can dive into this a little bit more about just like the whole hookup culture now that's going on, right? Because it's starting to feel like chivalry is dead.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm looking at you ladies, like you're the problem. Because
right.
if men can get it, they're going to take it, right? Like,
right.
I don't know why, and it's more of a younger generation thing, I think, but I think
Mm-hmm.
the women are making it very easy for men to just not have to work for it, not have to commit, just giving it up, sending the naked photos. Like they don't even have to leave the couch.
Yeah. And I do blame the dating apps for that.
Correct.
Phone culture and the app culture and stuff like that. It's just taking everything. It's just taking the work out of it. People think they could just click for a hookup.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You like
or a photo. You don't even have to hook up.
Yeah. You like no longer have to cut your hair, put on something nice, go out to the bar, put some work in. You know what I mean? There's some value in that if you worked for it a little bit.
I know.
Nowadays you could just go on an app and have a woman send you a naked photo, or a guy send some chick a dick pic, and then it's on and popping. It's like, what happens to everything else, in between,
I know. So I wanted to ask you, so I have never got a dick pic. I've never got an unsolicited dick pic. I think I'm the only one out of my friends. Like apparently the code is like you up. If a guy says you up, he's gonna, or if he says, can I ask you a question? If it's like a random DM or, something like that, if you say yes, they blast you with the dick pic. So I've never got one, but have you ever had a woman ask you to send her a dick pic?
Only one that I was in a committed, serious relationship with.
Okay.
And it was appropriate. But never, and I've only twice in my entire life. And it was from two people that I was in a serious relationship with. And it was very appropriate. It was, you know what I mean?
But why? I mean, that's fine, but why would they want a dick pic if they see it all the time anyways?
I don't know. And she was at work, and I guess she wanted to just be turned on at work or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
And she kind of like ended up sending me like a nude while she was at work, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Because as a woman, I don't think it's exciting to get a dick pic. Like, I don't think women, I mean, maybe some women are into this.
yeah.
I have a friend who's kind of crazy who will be like, oh, let me show you a picture of this guy. This guy sent
Mm-hmm.
me. And it was a guy she was hooking up with, but it wasn't just the dick. It was like
Right.
he had like a 6-pack. So I think
Right.
that was really more of what she liked. But I think it's more of the men. Like, I think it's kind of in line with the same guys that like have like they like to jerk off in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? The jerk
Mm-hmm.
off fetish.
Mm-hmm.
Because so when I was in Northern California a couple months ago, remember I told you I had the threesome with the 2 guys.
Yeah.
And I told them when we were going out to eat, and I said, I've never got a dick pic. It's so crazy. And they were both like trying to send it to me. Like they both wanted to be the first one. And I'm like, guys, it doesn't count if I'm telling you this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
So I had no service. So one of them texted me and I like wasn't getting it. And the other one's like, I'm going to airdrop it to you so you get mine first. And I'm like, how is this exciting?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, is that exciting for you to send a picture of your dick to a random girl?
I was just thinking about that as you asked. And now that I'm thinking back, it really wasn't exciting, but it was enjoyable to know that she's going to enjoy seeing me on hard in this picture.
If she's asking you
asking me for it.
That's different.
That was the point. You know
but
I
mean, would you ever to like a girl on a dating app be like, want to see a picture of my dick?
No, absolutely not. And me and my guy, my circle of guy friends, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're not into. We think it's super, super whack.
It's
super whack.
It's whack. It is whack.
Yeah.
I
something
think
we're not into.
I think it's a generational thing. I think because like I'm in my 30s, you're in your 40s, and like just growing up, we didn't do that.
Yeah, I have a good story for you too. A good
okay.
big story. So when I was in Florida a few years ago, shooting this music video for my mom, this Trump video thing she did, I was hanging out with an old friend of mine. I mean, this guy's like, he was like one of the biggest drug dealers in Miami. Like, went to jail for years and came out and still had his businesses and all that. And he and I are really, really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in town, we linked up. I hadn't seen him in probably 2 decades or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we hung out and we were at a bar in Fort Lauderdale called the Blue Martini or the Blue Martin or something like that. Really, really great place if you're ever in Florida. Grown and sexy crowd, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Meet these girls from Canada. I ended up hooking up with one of the girls, and a friend that he brought wanted to hook up with her sister. Mark, the guy that was, my friend, didn't want to. He's married. He's like, whatever, I have a kid on the way. I'm chilling, man, you can talk to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The friend that he brought ends up sending the sister a dick pic, and she was so upset.
Right. Unless they ask, don't.
Exactly. And because the one that I was talking to was feeling me, but he wasn't getting the same response.
Okay.
And he had exchanged numbers, and he thought maybe if he sent dick pic,
that
would give him a cool point and help him out. And it ruined the entire thing.
No.
It ruined the entire thing.
Because you just seemed creepy at that point.
That's exactly what it was. And my friend was pissed.
Oh my God.
He was he did what? And the girl showed me, Rachel, I don't know why she did. She didn't warn me. She said, Imani, look at this, what he sent. And I looked and turned.
Oh my God. You just made me think of 2 stories that I had not thought of until you started talking. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's absolutely disgusting. And you know what's funny about this story? That turned me off from him. I just met him through my friend. I said, and me and him both said, yeah, we don't want guys like that to hang out with us. It just makes us all look bad.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Like, why'd you send a picture of your dick? Like, you couldn't just talk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway. I know. So I know a couple guys like from my hometown area that are like so into like the nudes and the dick pics. Mm-hmm. And I remember a long time ago, my friend, this was like a guy that like we were not into or anything, but we knew who
Yeah.
he was. And I think he was big into the photos back when like before this was even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so she like didn't know how to say no to people. And I think he asked her one day, like, do you want to see it? And she just goes, okay. Like, cause she didn't know, like she didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
So she's like laughing her ass off, telling me the story. And so we're driving somewhere, and she goes, oh, I just got this cool shirt. She goes, you want to see this shirt I just bought? I go, yeah, and it's his dick pic. She tricked me into looking at it.
God.
And I was like, no.
Right.
Oh my God, she thought she was so funny. But the better story. So do you remember I told you about the musician guy that I was in love with and he wouldn't sleep with me for like years and years. So the first time I ever hung out with him, I was at a party with so this girl I used to hang out with that was overweight, and the singer's friend, who is my friend in NorCal in the open relationship. So it's the four of us. So it's me, the singer, my friend, and my overweight friend, and then the guy friend. Okay. Right. So my overweight, I'm not friends with her anymore, so I don't care to tell the story. She was kind of mean, but she was a big girl. And so of course I'm with the singer. And so my friend gets stuck with the overweight girl. Okay. And he's like, not happy about it, but he's being a sport. He's hanging out with her, whatever.
Just take one for the team.
We're at a party.
Yeah.
So she goes in the bathroom, starts taking pictures of her vagina and texting it to them while we're still at the party.
Are you serious?
No. And the guy and I had left. So like my poor dude friend is at this party, like, getting photos of her from the other room because she's trying to hook up with them. Like, oh, sweetie, no, that's not how you do it.
Same exact story in reverse. Same
exact thing. Right. That's what made me think of it. And so, it totally cock blocked me in the end because, the singer and I go back to my place, and we're kind of, making out, taking our clothes off, whatever. Yeah. And our phone is blowing up, and I know it's the guy, and like neither of us are answering it because we're trying to hook up, and like there was security to get into my building, so you couldn't just get in. And all of a sudden, at my door, it's like the knock, right? And I'm like, oh fuck, I think somebody let him in. So we go in there, and he's like, "You guys, you left me," and she's sending me these pictures from the bathroom, and then she comes back, and it's totally weird. No, like unless you're a hot girl, no, don't do that. Yeah. Don't just blast this guy. Like, how awkward is that?
Yeah, very awkward. And it's funny, even if she was hot, I still think it was strange.
It's weird, right? Like some not as you are, like not and not a vagina. Like maybe like a boob pic or something. A boob or like a full frontal.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like
right, exactly.
Spreading them in the bathroom. No.
Spreading them in the bathroom.
No, thanks.
No, thanks at all. And what's funny? It's so funny. I've heard this complaint a lot from women about getting dick pics. Yeah. And I didn't even know it was that prevalent until I started hearing just lady friends I know that guys are doing this all the time. And we were like, what guys are y'all hanging out with? Because no one in my friend circle is into that. Not one of them.
No. You know what my friend would do? And she would draw she would get one of those, like the Instagram app. She would draw a hat on it and like eyes and a nose and fucking post it on social media and blast them out.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, if you're in a serious relationship and it's a form of lovemaking, some kind of before you get home,
different. Yeah,
that's completely different.
Not a stranger.
Not someone you just met the day before.
And like they also want to share pictures of themselves jerking off. I also don't find that sexy. Like even if it's a hot guy, because the guy I hooked up with in NorCal, like in addition to the dick pic, sent me a video of himself jerking off, and I was like, look, and I think he's hot. Obviously, I've slept with him, but I'm like, I don't think it's hot to watch you jerking off.
Right.
I feel like I'm spying on something I'm not supposed to be
Right.
spying on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but he has an OnlyFans account, and it's probably, I think because he's bi, I think it's probably mostly men, you know, that want to see that. I don't know one woman who's like, oh, I just really want a picture, video of this guy jerking off or a dick pic.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I've even had women on the dating apps that you connect and you start messaging, and I would say, hey, send me a so and so because you don't really have a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
And they would think that I'm sending them a dick pic after, and they would preface it by saying, but okay, but don't send me no dick pic. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
That happened a few times where they tell me, okay, but please don't send me a dick pic.
Yeah.
I do not want to see that. And I said, people do? So, oh yeah, guys do this shit all the time.
I know. And I have a guy friend. I have a guy friend that he used to have a crush on me back in the day. And then, I think he realized I didn't think of him in that way. So we're just good friends. But he had texted me recently, late at night, and wrote you up. And I was like, I hope he's really asking me if I'm up. But I purposely didn't reply because I was also super high. I just smoked weed, and I'm like, what if I say yes and he sends me a dick pic? That's going to ruin the friendship. You know what I mean? Or no. So I just didn't say anything. And the next day I was like, no, I'm sleeping.
Right. And you want to know what's funny? What I want to go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is what's funny is when I'm in a serious relationship with someone, I would ask them to send me sexy nudes and stuff like that.
Right.
So that I could have something to actually jack off to if I'm out of town, or if I'd rather jack off to my lady than go on Pornhub or some other crap. So in the past, I've asked exes to send me some nice, sexy, nudes. I mean, nothing on where I could see everything that I could jack off to.
Right.
And guys, trust me out there, your woman would rather you do that if you're out of town on business trips than go on Pornhub. You know what I mean?
I don't care either way, but my ex, I told you this before, we had made some videos of ourselves and that was all he watched. He stopped watching porn, and he would just watch those videos all the time. And I was like,
yeah, cool. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather do that than watch the other stuff. For me personally, I much rather jack off to something I know I'm going to be getting later. And I've gotten before, you know what I'm saying? And seeing that, then jack off to some stranger that I'd never meet in my entire life. That's just me. So
yeah.
So that's what I wanted to say out there for all the gents and the ladies. If you have a man who's asking for some nudes and stuff, and he may want to do that, and maybe you should ask him, Yeah.
Well, I was going to say too, it can ruin stuff if guys are really into that and you're not. Yeah. Because a friend of mine, the one that I used to always talk about, that's trying to find her husband and everything. She actually was dating the perfect guy, divorced, wanted more kids, wanted to get remarried, lived really close by her. He fit all the boxes, but it's he pushed that angle too much, started asking if she had sexy lingerie and stuff. And she's an Abercrombie girl. You know what I mean? She's not going to do any of that. And she ended up dumping him after 3 dates. It's all he talks about is the sex and the sexting and lingerie. And she's like, that's not who I am.
Got you.
And I was like, I think he's because he's divorced. Maybe he hasn't got laid in a long time. And it's all he can think about. Yeah. But so I dated a guy back home a couple years ago, and we kind of hooked up when I was home. I always had a crush on him, but he used to be married and then he got divorced. And so we hooked up a little bit when I was home, and then I came back to LA, and we would talk on the phone all the time. But it's he wouldn't shut up about the sexting. And it's okay, I get it that I'm not there. I understand it. Yeah. But I was going home again for 2 months for the holidays in November, December. So it's buddy, you just got to get through September and October and we'll be fine. and he ruined it because he like wouldn't like send me sexy pictures. He did it so much that it's like, now I don't want to, because now it's all you talk about. And so I started getting really annoyed and really like kind of stopped liking him, to be honest, because I'm like, he's just pushing this too much.
Turn off. So
he sends me a picture of Dick's Sporting Goods one day, and it's like, sent you a dick pic. And I'm like, you're not funny.
How corny can you be?
Right. Like, it's not funny, but now you're just turning me off because I've told you multiple times I'm not into it, and you still keep pushing it. You know what I mean? And now it's like making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so when I went there, I was already kind of checked out because of him just like pushing it too hard. And he could tell. And so he was like, what's going on? Like, I feel like you don't want to hang out anymore. And I ended up just having to tell him I didn't, like, because he just pushed it too hard. You know what I mean? It's like, buddy, if you just shut up and, kept it in your pants for 2 months, you could have got the real thing. Like,
right. Exactly.
But you messed it up.
Guys out there, I hope you're listening to what Rachel is saying. Don't push it too much. You got to relax. Be patient.
I mean, push it too much, like in real life.
In real life. Right.
But question for you, like, wouldn't it kind of ruin the surprise for you if a girl sends you a photo of herself before you've seen it?
Absolutely. I don't want to see that.
Right. Don't you want to like see it in real life and be surprised?
Absolutely. And I like the whole mystery of that, and not seeing it first and getting into it and see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, that ruins it for a fact. Yeah. I wouldn't want to see that at all.
I wonder if it's maybe like because it's a younger generation thing, like maybe just because you know how the younger generation, it's like instant gratification, right? You can order everything online, everything's at your fingertips. So I guess nude photos are too. Maybe I think they just expect it. It's like,
you know what? My daughter turned 16 today. I mean, as you know, I'm going to ask her. You know what I mean?
Okay.
One of her best friends is 18, and they're already sexually active and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask her, like, hey, is this a thing amongst like the 16, 18, 19? You know what I mean?
I guarantee it.
Guarantee you, huh? Yeah.
Because you hear those stories, and I watch those like teen drama TV shows, but like, back in our day when we would watch those like 90210 shows and stuff, it's like, like someone would be embarrassed in high school by like, getting drunk and getting suspended from school or something.
Yeah.
And now the whole premise of these shows is like some girl sent a naked photo to some guy at school and he showed the whole school,
right.
Or somebody sent it out to the whole school. Like that's, right. That's happening.
Yep.
It
is.
I think it would be horrible to be a teenager. I think with social media and cell phones and stuff nowadays.
We didn't have that back then.
It's gotta be terrible.
Yeah, we didn't have that back then. Back then, I remember back then the most we would do, like if we wanted to bus or something, you would be like fingering a girl or something like that.
I went to second base in McDonald's.
Right. That was the exciting thing back then. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But it was actually only because I just didn't have anywhere to go because my parents were home and his parents were home. So it was like a half day. We went to McDonald's, like sat in this little booth in the back where nobody was. And he like went up my shirt for the first time.
Right. Exactly. That's the stuff we did. You know what I mean?
That's exciting.
Right. Exactly. Nowadays, who knows, man? Nowadays, who knows? But the whole sexting back and forth thing, though, the actual
the words,
the actual language of it all.
I don't do that. That makes me uncomfortable.
Me either. I've never known what to say or how to say it, and I've had a couple of women in the past try sexting with me and stuff. And they don't know this, but I literally have to like look it up. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say when you're sexting? I looked it up real quick and started talking back and forth, and it still just seems so weird to me.
It's like 50 Shades. It's like reading a bad erotic novel that you're writing yourself.
Exactly.
And I'm a writer, and I still don't want to do it.
That's a great analogy. Actually, that's how it felt. It was weird.
It's like I just felt, I don't know how that book did so well because the dialogue was the worst part. Like, Because I'm like, no one talks like this, like
Right.
in bed, and they said each other's names in like every sentence. You
Yeah.
know, it's like a girl in bed being like, "Oh, Imani, Imani, I want you to do this, Imani. Oh, Rachel,
Right,
yes."
but on
Like,
text, right?
no, in
Oh,
person.
in person. Okay.
But no one talks like that in real
Right.
life.
No one talks
So,
like
you
that.
know, it's like, "Oh, I want you to do this." Oh, yes, actually there was texting too, but it was mostly in person. Like no one says each other's names in every single
No,
sentence. You know what I
no,
mean?
absolutely not.
So for me, I couldn't get into it because I'm like, this doesn't sound like a real conversation to me.
Right.
Because no one's going to be like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, Christian, do this, Christian. Yes, Christian." I'm
Right.
not into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking, like, what would I say, like, if I'm trying to sex? Like, what are you supposed to say? Like, when you get home, I'm gonna put this big dick in your. Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like, it doesn't.
Weird.
It's
No.
so fucking weird to me. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it goes back to what you always say, that women don't want to be involved in their own seduction. It's like,
Seduction.
so you're going to tell her everything you're going to
You're
do
gonna do.
later.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
just no surprise.
Yeah. Do you feel that?
No,
Are you wet yet? Like, what is it? Isn't that what it
no.
is? Basically, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't do it, but like it's so funny. So I just hooked up with a guy recently,
Mm-hmm,
and I was like, I feel like he watches a lot of porn,
mm-hmm.
because it was like that during sex, that constant dialogue of like, "Look at those titties. Oh, look at that pussy. Oh, yeah." And it was like I was really drunk, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like the whole time I'm like, I feel like he watches a lot of porn, and I feel like he's saying it to like psych himself up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like maybe he needs that verbal stimulation, because
Right,
that's what they do in porn. I think is like but or they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm banging my stepmother." Like
yeah.
they're always saying weird stuff, and I think that like turns
That
some
makes
people
sense.
on.
Yeah, because I have never, and I don't see myself doing all this damn dialogue in the process. Like, for what? I mean,
What?
yeah, every now and then I may say a word or two, like every now and then, but it feels organic. It's not, I'm not like overly saying this stuff like what
Yeah,
you're talking
no.
about. I've never.
The only time I can do it is when I'm drunk.
Right.
Because then I'm like, but
Yeah.
sober, I'm not going to be like, "Let me see that big heart." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it just feels cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah. That's
No, but I don't know. Some guys are just so into the nudes.
Yeah.
Like my friend in NorCal, because he's on all those like open marriage apps to
Mhm,
meet other
mhm.
people, and it's like that's all he talks about, and that's all he'll show me is like, look at these pictures of this girl and this girl, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, that's not
Right.
exciting to me.
Right.
And I'm
How much time do they have in their life? I was going to say. I mean, what
totally.
else
Well, and I actually got really irritated with him because he would always ask me for photos, and I'm like, I don't do that. I've told you a million times I don't do it. So one day I was like really drunk, and we went day drinking, and I got home, and he just randomly texted me, and I was like, you know what? I'm loaded right now. I'm just gonna send this guy photos and shut him up. It took me so long to take this photo because it's like, you got to get the lighting right. You got to get the angles right. You have to be happy. You even have to be happy with what your face looks like in it, right? Like it's, mirror picture. Am I looking at? And then you know what this motherfucker has the nerve to say to me? I send it to him and he goes, "Now send me another one, but I want you looking at me, not at the phone." Like, because, it was one of the mirror selfies where I'm looking at the phone. And I was like, "You ungrateful little shit.
You ungrateful little shit.
You know how long?" And I went off on him to the point that he sent me like a page-long apology because he knew he wasn't never going to get one again.
Right.
And I was like, do you know how long it took me to get the lighting, the angles, the lingerie?
Right.
And you don't even say thank you. You tell me to send you another one.
That's horrible.
No.
That's horrible. One thing too, guys and girls, like I've had exes in the past just have me take them. They would say, "You know what, next time we're together, let's take some. You take it, get the angles you like, and just don't show it to." What I mean? I've had that happen.
Yeah.
And I would take a few or whatever, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of way. It makes it easy, and you're in the moment, and probably
Okay.
about to have sex or just or whatever it may be, and then you
Yeah.
take a few shots and you're good to go. And sometimes I don't even want to see. Just keep them for yourself, like you know what I mean.
Yeah. I don't.
Let that
Oh God,
happen.
I couldn't even let somebody else do that
Right,
because I'm too fussy with my pictures.
right.
Like,
Are you too self-conscious?
it's just like, yeah, like I need to make sure I'm a perfectionist with everything,
Yeah.
like any photo of me. So if you see a picture of me on social media, I probably
Mm-hmm.
took 25 of those,
Mm-hmm.
and then got the one I liked and then edited it and,
Yeah.
all of that. So no, that would not work for me.
Gotcha.
No.
I'm just throwing good ideas off for the listeners.
Yeah.
If
But if
you
it's just for
are
you, you know what I
right,
mean? Like that's fine. It's not going online or anything. But I think
right,
still if somebody had a photo of me, I'd probably want to look at it, edit it
right,
first or look at it first. But also, I also made a, video with my ex and
right,
I never watched it. So I'm like, who knows what that
right.
looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if you having trouble taking the shot, ladies, like Rachel did, have your guy take it.
Yeah.
Too. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've made, I think like one or two videos too with someone, and and she has a copy, I have a copy. I think
I
like
got one
years
out.
ago.
I have one out there
Years ago.
somewhere.
Years
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got one from 18 years ago.
Oh wow, that's a while.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah,
20 or 21
this is
and
8, 9 years ago. Yep.
yeah, so I don't he told me at one point he lost it and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You're
like
like, what?
hopefully I know. Well, hopefully he did cuz so this and actually it's so funny I was going to mention this to you today.
Yeah.
Do you remember it was one of our first episodes where I told you about the tape recorder in the car guy?
Mm-hmm.
Imani, I woke up Saturday morning to, okay, I just to preface this, I dated him when I was 20. We broke
Yeah.
up when I was 21. I'm 38. This was
Yeah.
17 years ago. Haven't
Yeah.
talked to him in 17 years.
Wow.
I woke up Saturday to 14 messages on LinkedIn.
Serious.
And I'm like, why do I have 14 messages, right? Usually I
Yeah.
have like one from someone
One or
trying
two
to get
for
a
some
job or
business.
something, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All from tape recorder in the car guy.
Serious. So he found you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He found me on there a couple of years ago and just like sent me a happy birthday wish one year and
Mm-hmm.
quoted like songs we listened to.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's off his rocker. Like, I mean, I've talked to you in 17 years. He also has a baby with a girl that he's been with. I mean, he was with her before me. We dated for a year and then they got back together. So
Got
he's
you.
got to have been with her for 20 something years.
Yeah.
Right. 14 messages. He's like, I can't, I've never stopped thinking about you. I just want to see you one last time. Just
Wow.
to touch your hand one last time. This,
What did you say?
I can't even tell you what a horrible person he was. Like, all right, so
Mm.
did you ever have like one of those toxic relationships? Like, or I think maybe yours was the dentist, but like,
Yes.
did you ever have one when you were real young where you guys fought all the time, like it was toxic, or was that
Hmm.
more when you were older with the
Nah, more
dentist?
when I was older. Yeah, never
Okay.
when I was younger. Can't remember one like that when I was younger.
Okay. So usually people go through that when they're young, like
Okay.
teens and 20s, where it's like
Okay.
you're like the Jersey Shore. Like I watched that show and I was like, oh God, this is every 20 something's relationship. Like
Right.
you get drunk, you fight all the time, you cry, you break shit.
Yeah.
That was him. And he was older than me
Mm.
too. He was 28. I was only 20.
Mm.
This guy was like, honestly, like verbally abusive. And I don't
Yeah.
even like, it's hard to justify how, it's hard to explain how horrible somebody is when they don't physically hit you.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, he was the meanest drunk. First time he ever got drunk, I was like on the other room on the phone, on his phone with his friend, because I was trying to set him up with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
He like took his phone, threw it across the room, was like, what are you trying to fuck my friend? Made me cry. This became every weekend. He would be like,
Wow.
I see the way you look at other men.
Oh,
Like,
man.
psycho.
Really insecure. Yeah.
Really insecure.
Mhm.
Because he was Cape Verdean. So he just felt like he was the black guy. He wouldn't meet my family.
Mhm.
Oh, they're going to think I'm the black guy. Like, so insecure, like felt like
That's
he
the
didn't
one that was mixed. He was mixed with black and white. Okay.
He's Cape Verdean, so they look kind of like Latino black, you know what I mean? But he kind of looks like Tiger Woods, actually. That's
Okay,
I always
got it.
compare him to him.
Got it. Yeah.
Sight every weekend. I had to call into work once because my eyes were like swollen shut because he just would make me cry. And when he would make me cry, it's like he wouldn't be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He would get meaner and meaner. It was like satisfying for him. It was horrible.
Issues, major issues.
So like I've never written anything back except like, "Oh, thanks" or whatever for the birthday wishes. But I sat on it all day. I wasn't going to say anything. And now I'm like, no, I'm saying something.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole fucking page.
Oh, serious? Back to him?
Yeah, because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I'm a writer and I like to get stuff out in words. And I was like, you know what? No, I need to actually probably put him in his place because I don't think he realizes what a horrible human being he is.
That's
I'm gonna let him
good
know.
You did that to get that out too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, hi, I don't know what you remember about our relationship, but this is what I remember.
Right.
And I was like, you throwing your phone across the room, you accusing me of this. I had to call into work because my eyes are swollen shut. You cheated on your girlfriend with me and told me
you just reminded him of all the crap.
And I said, when I'm home, I choose to spend that time with my friends and family. And I said, I hope you've learned over the years how to treat women with the love and respect that they deserve.
Exactly.
And
I'm glad you told him all that. That's good.
Yeah. And I didn't think he was going to write back, and he did. And he was like, thanks so much for the feedback. It means a lot.
and now he's going to send you a dick pic.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
No,
just kidding.
Please no.
Just kidding. No,
like,
that's good. That
Oh
communication, I think, is very important in situations like that.
I know, because I'm the type that hates confrontation, and I never I always try to avoid it. But I was like, you know what? If I don't say something, because he does this every couple of years. It's like he's done. I think he's reached out like twice, 2 or 3 times over the years. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it out there because and it's kind of good closure for you too.
That's what
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You feel good getting that off your chest and stuff.
Right. But isn't it funny when people remember a relationship so much differently? Like in his mind, I'm the love of his life.
Right.
In my mind, I've blanked that year out of my life because that was like the worst relationship ever.
Yeah. Kind of like me and the dentist. Yeah.
Right.
I
she
get it,
she probably thinks you're the love of her life.
Man.
Bananas.
Come on, Rach. Bananas.
Oh no.
Yep. What else do you have there? I don't have nothing else on my list.
No, I think we're good there. I think we should do an episode on hookup culture and have some guests on the ones I ran by you.
That sounds really good.
All right.
No,
what are you giggling about?
Episode. No, because this was a good episode, and I thought I was the one that was only like sexing is whack, it's corny, it's weird.
No,
I thought I was the only one, you know what I mean? But it's good to hear that. No, you're on track with it sounding and being weird, saying that type of thing in text. And so it's good to know that I'm normal.
And I don't know who these guys are that think like, you know what, this girl, she's gonna want this picture of me.
Right.
Like what made you think that this woman, if she's not asking, what makes you think that people want to see that? Like, especially if they don't even know you yet.
They don't know you yet.
Because it's a lot of what I've heard it's a lot of like DMs, like DMs on Instagram. People will do it.
I've heard that too.
Or dating apps. Yeah, but it's
I've heard that too.
So one guy had a Bumble profile that was all just pictures of his dick.
Are you serious?
I reported it. Yeah, because you can't legally.
Get the hell out of here.
No face, no body. It was like 6 different angles, all of his dick. And I'm like, so my guess is he's probably married and he can't have pictures of his face on there. But it's like, what girl's swiping right on that? Right. You know what I mean? Just a body part, like no face. Right. No.
Oh, what? Oh, man. Anyway.
Oh, no. These people are freaky.
Listen, on that note, guys, it's relationships, romance, and propaganda with Rachel K. Burke and Imani Shakur. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Again, don't forget to subscribe on ISNT Group Digital on YouTube. We expose the truth and broadcast the lies. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for checking in, Rach. You look amazing as usual.
Thank you.
And yeah, don't get any dick pics in. I'm not gonna send any. And we're gonna.
I feel like anything we talk about, I like manifest into my life. Right. So I'm gonna
right.
guarantee I'm probably gonna get one after this episode.
Exactly.
Because we're talking about it.
I also wanted to say Happy New Year. I think I texted you Happy New Year anyway, but just wanted to say.
Oh, okay, probably.
I think I texted you Happy New Year, Happy Holidays.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, well, nice to see you as usual.
You too. Thanks for tuning around, guys.
Birthday. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for listening to where you get your podcast if I didn't say it. All right. I'll see you. Have a good one. Okay. Bye.